Okay, so hi, this is Kaylee Hansen, and I will be talking about my Illustrator independent project that I did for the spring kind of 4 weeks project. First of all, obviously my project was to create something in Illustrator, and my main goal for this was not to create a final big project, but just to build my skill set so that I'm able to use Illustrator in the future and for smaller projects that I will hopefully be working on or even just choose to work on because Illustrator is pretty cool. So I'll go through some of the tools that I used to learn Illustrator were one of my friends, Gracie, is pretty good at Illustrator. She did this project a couple weeks ago. And so I was able to just kind of sit down and watch her, which really helps as just in person because I can be like, oh, why'd you use that tool? Or just ask more personal questions and not have to go searching for one specific answer. And then I experimented on my own, obviously, with learning a new application. Anyone kind of has to do that. You just have to see what you like, what tools you want to use over others. And then I also was able to use Adobe's site, which I will show here. Sadly, YouTube wasn't the best of help during this project as it has been for me before, just because the tutorials aren't that great, and it was sad, but it also gave me the opportunity to try to problem solve and work it out by myself, and that also helped me later just because I had to learn the tools and I couldn't just follow a tutorial like step by step, which was nice. But this is the page. I would normally just type in a question and then it would pop up with 3 simple answers instead of having to go and track down something, and it was nice and easily spelled out for me. So here were my 2 inspiration pieces that I wanted to do for my final project, but like I said, it wasn't anything too extravagant. It was just something that I knew I would enjoy making and spending my time on, and something that I would want to put on my portfolio but also be able to use a lot of tools with, so not too simple that I couldn't expand on it. Okay, so this is me. I can show just a little bit of screen capture, but I'm also going to go into the actual thing, so I won't show too much of it. But that was me just using layers and then building shapes, and here's me image tracing. And then I'm just doing the finishing touches, like removing this extra stuff, and then it shows me exporting the file as a PDF. Okay, so this is my project plan. I followed it fairly well. Luckily, it was pretty simple. The only thing that I wish I would have done more of were the example projects. Like, I didn't get a whole lot of little projects done, but I know that I definitely will have my fair share of those in the future. So it was a very simple project plan. With any new application, I think you just want to get your hands on it and experimenting and making your own projects that you know you'll enjoy and want to show off. So it wasn't too hard to make or follow, or even like if you got off a little bit, it wasn't that huge a deal. You could get right back on and keep making what you love to do. Okay, so this is my second week after I just experimented some and learned some of the tools and watched many of not great tutorials. And so this I made in, I think it was about like 8 to 10 minutes, just kind of messing around. I didn't really know what I was making until I just started building shapes on top of each other. And this was my week 3, which everything I hand drew except for the clouds, which I image traced just so I could get my hands on what that was like. And then this was my final, which again, everything I hand drew except for the VW van, which I got off the internet and then image traced. So I would have liked to make it myself, but I was slowly running out of time, and um, I just found it easier to, I found the perfect one online that I wanted to use, and then it also gave me a chance to get some screen capture of me image tracing and just to show my skill set in that in another way. And so I'll show some of that. Okay, so here I'm going to go to Illustrator. I'll just open up my final one here. So as you can see here are all my layers. I'll close all the sub layers just so you can see. Okay, so here are all my individual layers, and then within these there are all these sub layers as well. There aren't that many complicated ones, like the background ones are only really one sub layer, which is just the points that you put on there. But Illustrator is so nice in the fact that they make the vector image, obviously, which just means that you can proportion or make your object into whatever proportion you want without pixels standing in your way, so the resolution won't change or anything. So here each layer has a different color, and here I can just click on that and it'll go right to what layer I'm talking about, and as you can see it changes color. And I started off, I'm pretty sure, with just making this section my ground, and then I changed the shape of my road quite a bit because I wasn't sure exactly how I wanted it to fit in, but I slowly got it to here, and then I just made each of these backgrounds, and then I did my trees, and then I slowly added in the roads and just the little details like the sun and everything in the colors, which I changed quite a bit as well because I can never choose on one. But some common tools that I used, obviously you have your selection tool, and then this is so if you have a path that you had made with your pen tool, which is this one right here, which just allows you, here I'll just go over here, to make different shapes. You can go in and just kind of like change, you can make the edges round or change just one section of your path. I'll delete that. And then I didn't really use this that often just because I feel like it was unnecessary. Neither that, but I used obviously the pen tool to make all my shapes. So here's just an example of that. And then this tool allows you to go in and change just one of the points on your shape. Then you obviously have your text tool, and then just a simple line tool, which you can also go here and make into any of these. You have your, which I use this one a lot, it's just you make a rectangle or whatever you want. See here you can have all these options. Paintbrush tool, which I didn't use at all for this. The shaper tool. I used some, but not as much as I probably would have liked to. Eraser tool, simple enough. Rotate, you can have an object and you just rotate it. I use the shape builder quite often. Basically what it does is, here I'll just make something. Here I used it for this one. I'll show you how to make a simple tool. See, this is the, I use the shaper tool to make my trees, but this is just one example. So I'm going to just make 3 little triangles here and line them up as well as I can. And then you just take your shaper tool, or yeah. Oh, first you have to select them all. And then you take your shape builder and you just select it all and it builds your shape. So that's not the greatest tree, but that was just an example. And then obviously here, this is how you change your color. Pretty straightforward and simple. ahead and delete that. Yeah, everything else. Here I added this so I can also add color. I can just tap this and go here instead of having to go maybe click on this area. But that was just, excuse me, my own personal preference. Here are my layers. And also you can see your artboards, but I only have one artboard, which is my canvas, basically right here. These are just my extras that are off my artboard. Yeah, so that's about it. You can make different layers go away just so you can see what they're like. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me learning about my tools. Here you can, yeah, oh, there's so much I could talk about. Oh, here for the image tracing, this is what this is also for. You can select just a certain part of your shape or of your image trace area. So here I can take this, maybe, and just select. You see how the selection went around just that area? So I can take that and I can move this out. But actually what I ended up doing is I changed the color of it. Because before it was kind of a brighter blue, but it didn't fit my theme of my project, obviously. And I also took the background around it because it was just a photo that I had gotten off the internet. So I had to make it vector and to fit my canvas / artboard. So here you can see for my third week, this is it in a PDF file, which I had already shown you. And that's about it. The best part about my project is that just learning the tools, because that can be a feat in itself. And also I'm just able to have a grip on Illustrator that I can make simpler projects in the future, or even more extravagant ones if I have enough time for it. And it's just nice having that kind of backfall if you need something on the fly, just to create something beautiful and or even just fun if you want to mess around and make a logo or something. It's nice to have that skill set. The worst part was probably just the amount of time not being able to make smaller projects to put in my portfolio, but I would imagine that probably in a couple months, if I keep doing Illustrator, that those projects I wouldn't think were too great anyway. So I'm happy with my products, and I'm very happy that I have my skill set in Illustrator now. So hopefully that gives you an idea of kind of what you might want to look for in Illustrator, and is how I did things for my 4-week project. Thank you.